life she's been given, despite always knowing it isn't real. She has strong chemistry with Hunter and provides the emotional anchor for the audience. The rest of the cast isn't as well used, unfortunately. The character of Spock was yet to be fully conceived, and thus Leonard Nimoy's iconic screen presence doesn't quite appear in the cage. Even Major Barrett's #1, like pretty much everyone else, doesn't have much to do in this episode. The ending is also a little contrived. The usually powerful and near omniscient Tellurians are quite easily subdued and captured by the end. Despite its problems, however, The Cage is a solid Star Trek story. The comparatively large budget allows for some terrific looking VFX, sets and monsters. It features a lot of tragedy, but also a lot of fascinating concepts for the audience to ponder. While it isn't an all-time classic of Star Trek, it's still one worth several viewings from any avid Trekkie. The executives at NBC, however, weren't as impressed. It's easy to create the narrative that NBC simply weren't smart enough for this first pilot, but the truth isn't that simple. The executives were sold on a space western by the original pitch. This no doubt conjured images of saloon fisticuffs and quick-draw shootouts, but inside spaceships and brandishing ray guns. To be sold on this idea and then delivered a far more cerebral plot, which has our main hero in prison for most of the runtime, would be naturally disappointing. Further test screenings failed to convince NBC that Star Trek could work as a show, and so they decided not to pick up the series. However, in what is still a very rare occurrence for network TV, Star Trek was given another crack at the whip. This go-ahead for a second pilot came thanks to the co-founder of Designate Productions itself. As mentioned before, Lucille Ball was a highly successful figure on TV at the time. During her career, she had often faced rampant sexism and was often pigeonholed into the kinds of roles she could play. Her sitcom I Love Lucy and other comedic work seems tame by today's standards, but at the time they were seen as boundary-pushing when it comes to the depiction of the loyal American housewife. Allegedly, while Ball didn't have much interest in the actual script, she was quite taken aback when she saw the first officer of the Enterprise was a female character. Recognizing the value of such a progressively minded show, she pushed the board at Desiree and NBC to go for a second stab at a pilot. Roddenberry had shown 3 scripts to both production companies for potential pilot episodes. While they had chosen The Cage, another script, titled Where No Man Has Gone Before, was well liked. Using some studio notes, Roddenberry rewrote the script to be turned into a second pilot. One such note was NBC's demand that the character of #1 be taken out. There are conflicting stories as to why this demand was made. Roddenberry insisted over the years that it was due to pure sexism. The NBC wouldn't allow the first officer of the ship to be a woman. Other accounts suggest NBC were